Now we will see about the in GK different airlines with their logos. Now you can see on page number 16 of your GK book, there are different names of the airlines with their logos. First one is Qatar Airways. You can see in Qatar Airways how it has been made. Then next come Lufthansa. Then next come Egypt Air. Then next comes Japan Airlines. Then Sri Lankan Airlines, Emirates Airlines, Canada Airlines, Hawaii Airlines, Thailand Airways, American Airlines, Air India, and last one is the Turkish Airlines. These are the different airlines and their logos are given on your book page number 16. Now next comes building and structures. Buildings. Now here, what we talk about buildings and structure, and around the world if you move, you will see different buildings and it was made by different persons and it being located in different countries. Now how to identify which country which is there? You can see on page number 17, bridge of sand and rock between India and Sri Lanka. There is one bridge which is in between India and Sri Lanka, and that is bridge name is Adams Bridge. Now next is, it is a shell-like structure in Sydney, Australia, which is built along the river. What is the name? You can see the figure Sydney Opera House. It is just in the form of shell and it is famous in Australia. Then the western wall of Temple of Jerusalem, that is known as Wailing Wall. Now Wax Museum of London, it is one of the famous museums around the world and it is named as Madame Tussauds. The structure built in Athens initially as a place of defense and for administrative work, that is your Acropolis. Then the wall which divided a European city for about 40 years, that wall is known as Berlin Wall. It has divided some of the European countries for 40 years. The biggest dam across the Nile River, one of the main river of Egypt is Nile River, and the dam which is built across this river is your Aswan Dam. Then the headquarters of International Court of Justice, one is Indian, then every country had its own court, and the main court which controls all around the world is said to be as International Court, and it is at the Hague. The famous huge statue of Jesus Christ on a small rocky island in Rio de Janeiro is the Christ the Redeemer. The ancient places and temples discovered in the heart of jungles in Cambodia is your Angkor Wat, the most sacred place for the Muslim in Makkah, where they go to worship is the Kaaba. Now next is flower festivals of the world. As you all know, there are more than 1,000 varieties of flowers found in different parts of the world. So, in some of the countries, they celebrate this with the decoration of flowers, and this is said to be as flower festivals of the world. You can see in Bolemensko Zundert, the Netherlands. Zundert holds the largest parade of flowers in the world, where the large artworks are created and decorated with dahlias and thousands of other flowers. The other people of the places are often responsible for dahlias growing in the region, while the younger ones build up glides or floats into large temporary tents constructed especially for the event. These are the different dahlias which has been decorated in different forms, some in the floating form, some in the kept there. And in your previous while class, I given one small video how this has been going through. Then next is flower carpet Brazil, Belgium. This is another country in which flower festival is celebrated, that is Belgium, and this special event is organized once in every 2 years. 2 years in every 2 years. After every next year it is celebrated. During annual, a large flower carpet is stretched out on the main square in front of the Brazil City Hall. Means they decorate as flowers in such a manner that it seems to be as the carpet. Then Batalla de Flores, Valencia, Spain. Then again it is celebrated in another country, that is Spain. This festival is celebrated in Spain to mark the end of long Feria de Julio month. After the floats make a couple of rounds, the battle breaks out. People watching along with the float members throw flowers at each other and enjoy. They just throw flowers to enjoy. So it is celebrated in Spain. Then Battaglia di Flori Ventimiglia, Italy. The Battle of Flowers happens every second year in Ventimiglia. The floats roam around the town for 2 days. It occurs for 2 days, and the first day happens as a night parade with food, dancing, and music. And on the second day, the communities, along with the bands and dancers, come out on the street, and then everybody starts showering the flowers on one another. Then next comes Chiang Mai Flower Festival, Chiang Mai, Thailand. This is another country where the flower festival is celebrated, that is Thailand. And this flower festival is organized on the first weekend of February. The festival is mainly held in there is one community garden of Swan Walk Path on the southwestern corner of Mode, where these dancers in traditional shining costume perform. Thai dancers, the people taking part in the flower parade, hand out roses to spectators. Then Feria de las Flores, Medellin, Colombia, another places where flower festival is celebrated. The flower event takes place in the city of Medellin, where the week-long schedule is planned and organized, including the popular parade of Cilantron, important official carrying floral insignias. The flower parade symbolizes the end of slavery. Means how to show the end of slavery. This festival is celebrated in Colombia. Then next comes Rose Parade, Pasadena, California. California, on every New Year's Day, the festival is organized with flower decorated roads, rose, bowl, games, and marching bands enjoying the parade. Apart from bands performing music, there happens to be a beauty queen contest and a horse parade too. Means different form they celebrate different. Genzona in Florida Flower Festival, Belardo, Italy. Every year in the month of June, local artists fill the entire street of Belardo with flowery carpet patterns inspired from famous painting, religious art and shape. For more than 2 centuries since 1978 on Sunday and Monday in Florida, the most registered demonstration of art pride of the artist of Ginza has taken place. On the third day, school children are given the freedom to enjoy the plucking of flowers. Now we can see in different places these different festivals of flowers are being enjoyed, and people enjoy a lot while seeing all this. Somewhere it is form of carpet, somewhere it is in the form of parade, somewhere it is in the form of floating flowers. So there are different varieties of flowers all over the world, and every country celebrate according to their own needs, according to their own ways, so that they can enjoy it. Then next one is concern corner. What is concern corner? Concern corner. Human activities threaten the health of our ocean. Let's find out what some of these activities are. You are knowing that as we are part of a human, if we are gaining something, so we are losing also something. Nowadays, we are aware that we are having too many types of electronics, gadgets, and the electronics which are made in the industries, and industrial waste are being thrown in the rivers, which are very harmful to us. Over 18,500 million liters of domestic sewage reaches the coastal environment each day. See how much amount of the coastal environment are reaching to the coastal areas, and most of this is discharged untreated due to lack of treatment facility, most cities and towns. See, every places, all the industrial waste, they are not dugging it, they are just simply throwing in the river, which is just harming the animals and plants in the seas, ocean, river. Tons of plastic, glass, metals, and other garbage end up in the sea every year. The use of chemicals in fertilizer is increasing all over the world. These chemicals get washed down by rain into the rivers, and there are significant reserves of crude oil in our seas. But exploration and drilling of this oil pollutes the water through discharge of waste, including traces of oil into the sea. Like the oils which are being coming out of the industry are all being thrown in the rivers. Then in some part of sea, the seabed is mined for synthetic minerals. This mining increases muddiness in water. Where the mining is going on, and due to that waste is thrown in the rivers, that is affecting the mining also. Power stations and certain industry release hot water used for cooling into the sea to cause thermal pollution. Thermal pollution is caused by the power station which are just throwing its waste in the sea. Then ship breaking activities are also a big threat to the health of ocean. During this operation, iron particles and paint containing lead end up in the water. You know the ship is made up of iron and it is being painted, so there are some chemicals, oils which are being also thrown in the rivers. Then next is commercial fishing, their mechanized boats, huge net and other technology are used leads for over exploitation of fish and marine resources. Then last, aquaculture is being carried out in large nets along the coastal areas. This activity releases large amount of organic and other waste into the sea. Nowadays, these activities are growing in an unregulated manner. These are the some activities which are simply polluting our oceans, rivers and all, which should be stopped, otherwise there will be huge damage to our community. Now, what is conservation movements and groups? What is conservation? Conservation of forest and wildlife has been carried on both international and local levels countries all over the world. Let us learn about some such lesser known conservation movements. First one is monks community forest in Cambodia. It has Buddhist monks on patrol protecting the forest area. Nowadays, forest area is being damaged for the livelihood. We are cutting trees. We are not growing that much plant as much we are just cutting. Due to which that areas is being damaged, and there in place of cutting trees we are using that area for making buildings, factories for commercial purpose, by which so many disasters we are facing nowadays. The monks were awarded the prestigious Equator Prize in 2010, which celebrate outstanding community efforts to conserve biodiversity and reduce poverty. Only 25 such prizes are awarded every 2 years. See, in the large countries, only 25 prizes can. The charge of River Brahmaputra hosts many species of endangered turtles. There are many species which have been housed in the charge of River Brahmaputra. The killing of adult female freshwater turtles and incidental capture of breeding adults have created pressure on the freshwater turtle population. When you are killing fishes, animals, we are just using all these things for our own purpose and which are just harming our livelihood. This is situ conservation of endangered forest freshwater turtles through community participation programs in Assam. It is a project that seeks to sanitize people and educate them to conserve turtles with help from the referred small grants for conservation. Means they are just simply killing the turtles, but they are not aware of that killing is also not a good habit, and which now they are less, and just they are harming us. The Indrayani River Conservation Project began in 1979. It was started by the State Fishery Department and Tata Power to help the conserve the Mahasir fish. Mahseer fish. Experts say this fish has not been seen in the river since 1970 due to water pollution. Mahseer is one of the kind of fish which was earlier seen in the freshwater but now it is not seen due to water pollution. Then a concentrated effort into the project since 2010 has led to spotting of Mahseer fish in the river again. Again, we can see the restoring Yangtze River and watershed through scaling up agroforestry technology for resilience to climate change and improving livelihood for the communities is a project funded by Rana Green Fund with UK Department for International Development. Now there are some project is being used for the development. The project Rwanda Effort was provided 4,815 green jobs so far. These many jobs are also being given. The project benefits the community by increasing agriculture productivity by curbing soil erosion. If you curb soil erosion, then you can increase the productivity. It has led to job creation and is providing good quality and 80% water from Yangtze River to Kigali city. The Bagya tribe, a primitive tribal group from the Dhaba forest village of Sambalpur block has managed to protect and expand 600 acres of forest cover around their village in Madhya Pradesh. Now Bagya tribe, this is a primitive tribal group which is being for Sambalpur block to provide some wood for forest. They are banned taking access inside the forest, banned breeding, smoking inside the forest to prevent fires and disallow outsider from taking anything from the forest without informing the village. They are just helping out this also. Both social boycott and monetary penalty are imposed on offenders. These steps have rejuvenated water bodies and saved many trees from fire. As they stop bleeding in the forest, all those who give for this fire, they stopped it there just to conserve the forest. Otherwise, if there will be no forest, then the livelihood will also be spoiled. So, forest is also equal in need as the other things. Hmm. Then, your next one is medicinal use. Medicinal leaves. We know that many of the diseases can be cured with the help of leaves, but we are not aware which seeds are this. Huh? Are you aware? No, we are not aware which type of seeds can help for what. Now, you can see it leaves are helpful. It leaves are helpful in the treatment of bronchitis, cardiac disorder and asthma. It is one of the disease which is very much common, and what are the leaves which can be helpful for it? And that leaves are drumstick. Drumstick is what? In Hindi we say it sahajan. Then it leaves useful in the treatment of common cold. Next one is in common cold, which is cinnamon. We have seen that cinnamon. It leaves useful in the treatment of toothache which is very much useful. Cashew nut which you eat. Leaves are used to cure worms because it contains polyphenols. Which one it is? Bitter leaves. It is used for in cure of worms. It leaves helpful in the treatment of night blindness, that is mango leaves. Leaves are useful in the treatment of ringworm and eczema. What is useful in the ringworm and eczema? And that is balsam. Balsam is a flower. Leaves are useful in the treatment of rheumatic arthritis. Which one is useful in rheumatic arthritis? That is your sesame. Its leaves are useful in cough and diarrhea. That is your bitter gourd. It is useful in cough and diarrhea. Then its leaves are useful in treating eczema. that is eucalyptus. And at last, leaves are useful in printing marks, that is your this mustard seed leaves. These are the different leaves which are used in different parts for curing us. So as we are not aware, we always go to the that I am good in using medicine, but all the medicines whichever are used with the help of this leaves only. Now last is your I am a good listener. What do you mean by I am a good listener? Means firstly you should listen before you answer. So that's why it is said to be as I am a good listener. I am a good listener. Look at the person who is talking. Firstly, you should know with whom you are talking. Secondly, listen and don't interrupt. If anybody is speaking in front of you, you should listen and then you should interrupt. Third one, nod or say something to show you understand. Never show that whatever he is speaking, you are getting it. Repeat what you heard in your own words. You should exactly repeat the same word which you have heard. Don't repeat the other part. Has anybody ever been angry with you because you were not listening to them? Is there any chance if you are not listening to anyone and he is being angry to you? How does it feel when someone won't listen to your ideas or opinions? When he doesn't listen, how you feel? You should say your own opinion. What are some of the reasons why people don't listen? There can be many reasons. He doesn't like his voice, he doesn't like to talk to him. These are some reasons why you don't want to listen. What's wrong with not listening when someone is talking to you? You should just know why you are not listening to the person when he is speaking. How can not listen create hard feelings between friends? Is there a difference between hearing and listening? What is the difference? Hearing and listening. You should see and you should give answer. Here are 10 tips you to be a good listener and a better speaker. Use hand gesture to convey what you are saying. Use correct words. Use the right tone of voice. Use your face for convey your feelings. Be clear about what you mean. Listen if the person questions you. Respond to the speaker. Speak in clear and slow words. Take turns to speak. Means whenever you are speaking, these are some of the tips which you should follow. Thank you and have a good day.